P.E.I. Welcome to the unceded land of the Mi'kmaq. My name is Charlie Levi, Grandmother Wolf. P.E.I. Nindel was a gizi baktas of Bizu Memano, Ijamizu Memano. Najunagas Remalka gave me a bone. Get me dead, my get them said, Gizu killer go. Also to my sugar P.E.I. Akinis Kamish Emorio, Danis Covidai. Also my sugar bone. Group to stand up this cawadi. Yeladama way because we does as my abo money get away. When I look at Che, maybe Namazi. Chubida abo. Gizu to go away. Pisqua was Covidai. Some other come on a lot of chakras of Nokisco. Creator, I ask that you touch our hearts and that we think from there to there, from here. But I don't want to know close there. Chibano, Kadas, it gets about autumn. I ask that you open the 4 directions and send the good spirits that you put in each direction to help us today. Also, my group to stand up this Kawagisco. Mother Earth, I give many thanks for all the food and medicines that you given us. And I pray that each and every one of us to walk in a good way today, and if anything black or darkness cross our path, that you brush it aside. I said, no, Mama, P.E.I.
Thank you so much for a wonderful prayer. Good morning. Thank you for joining us today at this announcement. And by the look of the crowd, the significance and the importance of this announcement doesn't go and will not go unnoticed for generations to come. My name is Heath MacDonald. I'm an MP from Malpeque. I would like to acknowledge that we are gathered on the unceded territory of the Mi'kmaq people and convey our respect to the Indigenous peoples living in this region. Peoples to the knowledge keepers and to their brave and resilient leaders, past and present. I am pleased that we are joined by the Honourable Lawrence MacAulay, Minister of Agriculture, Agri-Food, Member of Parliament for Cardigan, on behalf of the Honourable Sean Fraser, Minister of Housing, Infrastructure and Communities, the Honourable Dennis King, Premier of Prince Edward Island, the Honourable Ernie Hudson, Minister of Transportation Infrastructure in P.E.I, and Chief Executive Officer of Confederation Centre of the Arts, Steve Bellamy, and of course Sean Casey, who will be up here in a moment. The federal government is working towards building a better future for all Canadians, taking strong climate action and rebuilding an economy that works for everyone. Today we are proud to be supporting an important project that will build greener futures for residents of Charlottetown and P.E.I. as a whole. So now I'd like to call on my colleague, Sean Casey, MP for Charlottetown. And I want to say something about Sean. Sean's a strong advocate of the Centre. And since the day he was elected, this has been a priority for Sean. He understands the importance of what this contributes to the economy of Prince Edward Island, and he understands the importance of our tourism industry. And I see a lot of business people in this room today. And forgive me not, Senator Brian Francis is standing directly in front of me, and I'm just recognizing him, and our newest Senator, Mary Robinson, and hiding behind the camera is Percy Down. And we respect you guys as well for your contributions to this project. So without further ado, I'll ask Sean Casey to come up and speak, please.
Thank you very much, Heath, Minister MacAulay, Premier King, members of Parliament, members of the Legislative Assembly, Honourable Corey Deagle and Gilles Arsenault, Minister Hudson, Senators, friends of the Confederation Centre of the Arts. Je suis tellement fier en tant que député de Charlottetown d'être ici pour cette annonce significative. C'est vraiment une annonce to celebrate this moment. Ah, nous sommes revenus, c'est parfait. OK. Le rôle de le Centre de la Confédération est tellement important pour notre ville, notre centre-ville, notre province et bien sûr notre pays. Et l'annonce aujourd'hui, c'est vraiment un indicateur de ça. We are here really for three principal reasons. One is the Government of Canada, and the Government of Canada's belief and support for downtown Charlottetown, its belief and support for the Confederation Centre of the Arts, and its unwavering commitment to telling Canadian stories. And that, all of those things, along with the importance of our environment, is behind the announcement that Minister MacAulay is going to deliver here shortly. The second thing that I would say is what's happening today is a real vote of confidence in the Confederation Centre of the Arts and in Steve Bellamy, the CEO, and the team here. Time and time again, the Government of Canada has seen the professionalism and the importance and the significance, the cultural significance and the historic significance of this place and the work that is done here. And today's investment is another vote of confidence in the track record of the centre, but also in what this project represents for the next generation. So those two things, but the last thing that I want to leave with you is we would not be here if not for the unwavering, unflinching, and persistent support of the province of Prince Edward Island, and more specifically the Premier of the province of Prince Edward Island. I was able to sneak past security and to get into some of the rooms where the Premier was lobbying the ministers, the relevant federal ministers, back when it was initially under Minister Dominic LeBlanc, and the Premier was in that room and looked at the minister and said, the province is in, we expect the federal government to be there too. And then there was a cabinet shuffle and a new minister with a little bit of a new perspective and perhaps a new wrinkle, and the Premier was there again, and they let me pass security again to listen to the heavyweights and the big, I mean that not in the literal sense, Premier. For the people in power and with influence to have these discussions around the importance of this project, and once again, the Premier didn't blink. The Premier once again reinforced the commitment to the province, and all of these things came together. The alignment of the goals of the federal government, the professionalism of the Confederation Centre of the Arts, and the unflinching support of the province. I'm enormously proud to be here as the representative of Charlottetown for this announcement. And without further ado, the Member of Parliament for Cardigan and the Minister of Agriculture and Agri-Food for Canada to bring some important and exciting news on behalf of the Government of Canada, Lawrence MacAulay.
Thank you very much, John. Indeed, it's a pleasure to be here, and you're absolutely right. Today is a great day for the city of Charlottetown. It's a great day for the province. It's a great day for the country. And it's a great day for the people that visit this country from around the world. And I have to say, it's a great pleasure for me to be here, too. Also with Heath, MacDonald, and I spent the last few days with Corey Deagle and the Premier. I got a good feed of everything about the island, but whatever. It was a very interesting show. Boston Seafood Show, of course. Seafood exports are so vitally important. Also glad to see my good friend Ernie Hudson here, and my Senate friends from across the way, and also Steve Bellamy. Steve is a man that put a lot of work into this. I've seen a lot of papers, a lot of briefcase with Steve explaining what would take place, and it's so vitally important. The Confederation Centre of the Arts brings folks together through the performing arts, virtual arts, and through living experiences. It's also a home for the Sobey Family Theatre, the largest theatre in Eastern Canada, and a place where so many kids have gotten to know got to know Anne of Green Gables in true life. It is virtually important that part of our province, which is why we're here today, to make this important announcement about the future. The federal government has made investments in infrastructure a key priority, whether it's in roads or communities. And I forgot to mention his worship. God help me, I'd be in trouble. Your worship, I'm pleased to be in your town. And the infrastructure is so vitally important, whether it's roads or community spaces. Making the decision to build our communities up today makes them even stronger for years to come. That's why I'm so pleased to announce that the federal government is investing over $27 million through the Green Inclusive Community and Building Program in innovative community funds for the important renovations to the Confederation Centre of the Arts building. And I have to say, being in politics quite a few years, I have been involved in a few renovations around here, and this is another big one, and it's so important. Thank you so much. Of course, our federal funding is combined with the investments from the province of Prince Edward Island, and it would support important upgrades to the heating, ventilation and air conditioning systems, and the installation of windows and new solar panels. In total, these renovations will reduce energy consumption by 60%. I know that these investments will help make the Confederation Centre Arts more green and more sustainable, so it will continue to be a place our country and history can be celebrated. They changed my speech when I get in here. I'm done, I guess. Anyhow, I have to say, this is one, I like announcements, I can tell you, but this announcement has been worked on for a long time, and a lot of credit goes to a lot of people. And it's a great honor to be here. I have to say, this is a big thing for at least Atlantic Canada. It brings people in. And sure, it's big for Charlottetown, but it's very big for Prince Edward Island. Again, a pleasure to be here, and thank you very much. How could I ever forget to introduce the Premier of the province of Premier Dennis King.
Thank you, Lawrence. Good morning. Bonjour, Quay. I want to say thank you, first of all, to Turley for your opening prayer. Thank you, as always. I do want to recognize the drummers, Tom, Tim, Charles, Brandon, and Parker. Thank you very much from the Abigail First Nation. A wonderful job. I want to say hi to everyone who's already been recognized here, and Mayor Brown as well. You weren't in my speech either, but you're always at the front of my heart and the top of my tongue. Mostly for good things, let me say. There's not much more that I can add that hasn't already been said here. I really do appreciate Sean outlining the what I think is the small role that we played. It was introduced to me by Steve Bellamy and some of the key staff members from the Confederation Centre of the Arts. And really, it's not just about remaking and reshaping and remodeling the building itself, but what it does as an anchor for Charlottetown, what it does to be the anchor of arts in Prince Edward Island and beyond, and to continue what is the continuing celebration of our Confederation. If you remember when Senator Murray Sinclair spoke at the Simons Lecture, he talked about Confederation not being an event from 1867, but an event that continues today, and we continue to celebrate that through the advancements of arts and culture and an ability to tell the stories, not just of our past and present, but our hopes and wishes for the future. So that's what this does today. When we went into the meeting with Dominic LeBlanc, Sean and I feel you undersold the commitment of yourself and the federal government, because this Green Infrastructure Fund is an extremely competitive fund to get your hands on. This isn't the only good idea for investment. And what we convinced together, Dominic LeBlanc and others, is to take a serious look at this And they even said that they were so committed to trying to make this fit into the parameters that they would utilize some senior staff to work directly with the Confederation Centre to check all the boxes to give it the very best chance that it could get. And I do think that's what makes the relationship we have in Ottawa with P.E.I. very unique, because I have to say not everybody gets that treatment up there. So essentially what I said, I had the easy part. I can give you 20 million to get an extra 40. That's a pretty good investment for me every day. So obviously, yes, I said, here's our 20 million. This is great. It's contingent upon your 40, but let's not focus on that just now. But I think all of that together made it work. But really, the whole bones of this has been the work and the backbone of the effort that has gone in from the Confederation Centre, from its staff, to really take a look at what this building is and what it represents, and to do more and more with it, to make it more interactive, to make more and more people recognize what it is, and to walk inside the doors. The sign inside the legislature always says they build it better than they knew. When they built this building, maybe they didn't build it better than they should have, I don't know, but we can make it look better from the outside, we can make it more efficient, and we can make it more inclusive. But let's not lose sight of the goals that were here from the very beginning, and that is that the arts and culture is so important of this country. The stories that we need to tell have to be told in places like this and shared around the province at Victoria Playhouse and at Georgetown Theatre and all across Prince Edward Island and the Maritimes. That's what the magnet of this place is. This is what it will be. I'm very honored to represent the people of P.E.I. And to put $20 million into this very worthwhile project, not just for Charlottetown, Your Worship, but for all of Prince Edward Island and for Canada, something we should be proud of. I know I'm proud of it, and I can't wait to see the work start. So thank you very much. And it's my pleasure to now introduce the Minister of Transportation and Infrastructure for Prince Edward Island, the member from O'Leary Bloomfield. Alberton Bloomfield. How could I make that mistake? The Honourable Ernie Hudson, my good friend.
Thank you very much, Premier. And yes, we have to make it abundantly clear, but we'll take out the O'Leary and we're inserting Alberton in there. So it is certainly a pleasure to be here with you. Most ones have been recognized, but it's great to see a number of my cabinet and legislative colleagues, senators that are here joining us this morning. Certainly, as has been said before by a couple of speakers, we never want to omit the Mayor of Charlottetown, Mayor Brown. It's always great to see. I think the last time that we crossed paths, it was outside out at the Esso station, and the weather conditions were just so that day. But it is a pleasure to be here. As has been mentioned before, it's a great day for the Confederation Centre of the Arts. It's a great day for Charlottetown, a great day for Prince Edward Island, including Alberton Bloomfield, and a great day for this great country of ours. And I think you look over here to my left, a must-visit destination for lovers of art, theatre, and culture. And the announcement, the investments, the initiatives that are going to be coming forward from the funding that is being announced here today is only going to increase that. It's only going to amplify that. Minister MacAulay, it's always great to be here with you, and I'm not sure, as I skim through my speaking notes, I'm wondering if the same person wrote both of them. But good news, having it repeated twice can never go astray. And Lawrence, it's great to be on this side of the Hillsborough River for a change, for an announcement with you. Had a number of them over the years, and a lot of them seem to be on the other side of the Hillsborough River for some reason. But as Minister of Transportation and Infrastructure, I am thrilled to be here with you this morning. Infrastructure is about investing in people, communities, and opportunities. By investing in cultural infrastructure, we can encourage future generations to build a kinder, more inclusive society. Construction of the Confederation Centre of the Arts began back in 1964, leading up to Canada's 100th anniversary. And Canada is evolving, and we are learning from our past, learning from new building codes, construction standards, and expectations for public infrastructure are also evolving. For nearly 60 years, this room housed a library which moved down the street. It's time to modernize the space to make way for a rehearsal hall, multi-use space for the community, and a national culture leadership institute. The government of Prince Edward Island is pleased to support these great revitalization initiatives and efforts with, as the Premier has mentioned, an investment of $20 million. A complete retrofit will address operating challenges in a 60-year-old building. Upgraded storm management infrastructure will protect against flooding and heavy rain. New HVAC, insulation, and solar panels will energize and revitalize this great building. This is in line with government's approach to reduce energy costs and lower greenhouse gas emissions as we work towards being Canada's very first net zero province. But it involves more than sandstone facades, cement, steel, and glass. New accessibility upgrades will promote an inclusive and welcoming environment. Barrier-free navigation will improve ground-level entrance, wheelchair ramps, elevators, widened and automated doorways with visual fire safety features. A choice of language, auditory output, larger print, and braille will ensure that everyone can learn and participate in the experience. The level of detail is certainly impressive. Necessary renovations will meet the needs of the facility while reflecting the values of our people, our province, and our country. As we learn from our past, we have an opportunity to expand educational, cultural, and tourism opportunities. By partnering with other levels of government, we can accomplish so much. Minister MacAulay, MPs Casey, MacDonald, thank you for your partnership on this initiative and a number of other partnerships that we've had over the years. And Mr. Steve Bellamy, I certainly want to thank you for your determination and for your vision as well. And also a thank you to the Board of Directors. Bob, I'm not sure where you're seated at. I had the opportunity to have a chat with you earlier, but all of the Board of Directors and governors as well. Thank you for your hard work and your community engagement. And with that, Steve, I will call on you to say a few words. Thank you very much.
Kwe, bon matin, and good morning. Ninda Louise, Steve Bellamy. It's great to see so many people here. This is going to be difficult for me. It's an emotional day. Thank you so much for those kind words, everyone, and for this introduction. I really want to express deep gratitude on behalf of everyone for the support. It doesn't take a village, it takes a country to do things like this. And as I think you've heard, it took the support of MLAs, senators, the public, all of the staff here at Confederation Centre of the Arts, the board, to bring together, I think, a vision for a really sustainable future and an exciting future for this institution. This is not one person's vision. This is truly a collective, and we're very excited about it. This long-term rejuvenation is in two phases. I do want to take a couple of minutes to talk about that. This strategic investment in the National Cultural Leadership Institute at Confederation Centre, it will, as you've heard, greatly improve infrastructure in Atlantic Canada, but also grow the economy, tourism, and increase the cultural impact of the centre for all Canadians and visitors to the country. This phase 1 is this south building, with phase 2 being entrances on the Grafton Street, entrance to the gallery and theater. There are 2 items I want to talk about to acknowledge in this project. One is the practical positive impacts to the programs and economy. And second, I want to talk about how this investment will facilitate a larger and important national discussion and dialogue. So first, on the many practical benefits of this investment, as you've heard, drastic improvements to accessibility, to green infrastructure, and to building efficiency in the 60-year-old building. And for programs, it'll allow the Centre to expand accessible programming really in 3 areas: the establishment of an arts academy for increased training and for serving more communities than we do presently, the establishment of an arts innovation hub which builds on the success of the Centre in creating new work for theatre, visual arts, new stories about Canada, by Canada, and for Canadians, and for visitors from around the world. And also, the third piece of programming is the Charlottetown Forum and a dedicated space in this building for a better telling of the impact of Confederation, the story of Canada, and the evolution of this incredible country. A resulting benefit of these program expansions, of course, is that increased economic impact. Confederation Centre of the Arts is a critical driver of tourism activity in the region. It supports hundreds of other local businesses through its programs and its presentations. And this investment will only strengthen that impact, while welcoming even more patrons and visitors through the Centre and building on the historic reputation enjoyed by the outstanding theatre and art gallery. The second acknowledgement I want to make about what this investment does is how it broadly serves Canadians around dialogue in Canada. As a national historic site, the Confederation Centre of the Arts has a duty to serve everyone by facilitating the interpretation of Canadian Confederation, its impacts, and its prospects for the future. Through national events like the Simons Medal, like the Charlottetown Forum, and with the future physical space in this building, Confederation Centre of the Arts is delivering on our role to be a place where Canada connects, where the public can connect with artists and experts in business, in public policy, in many other disciplines, to discuss and explore important issues in Canada. Many of you will have been to the Simons Medal lectures, to our newly begun Charlottetown Forum. And this gives Canadians an opportunity to gather to talk about important issues and how we actually move forward, how we take action on truth and reconciliation, the environment, the economy, AI, education, health, all issues that are important to Canadians. Canada needs to connect through positive and constructive dialogue, and this investment will actually facilitate that. Connecting is important. Even as we strengthen our individual identities, we need to connect as a country. Frank McKinnon, who thought up the idea of this place, his son Peter McKinnon, who's President Emeritus from the University of Saskatchewan, in his book, Canada in Question, I had to look up the title, he just wrote another book, Canada in Question, he reminds us of the dangers of becoming preoccupied with our separateness, with our individual identities. It's important that we strengthen our individual identities. But he shares the idea that as we focus more and more on celebrating our individual identities, we have to be cautious of the danger of forgetting the value of also connecting collectively across a larger and shared national community. Our goal at the Centre is to promote that reconnecting over a large and inclusive country. This investment will make it possible for Confederation Centre of the Arts to deliver on that national role, to connect Canadians and visitors through stories, through art, through dialogue, to better understand the evolving country and one another, and to contribute to a positive future. Winston Churchill had a great quote, you know, we shape our buildings, and I want to shout out to Abbott Brown Architects for an inspiring design. Winston Churchill said, we shape our buildings and then they shape us. And that's a really important thing to remember as we head down this path. We do have a few remaining funding components that are still in play, still in progress, and don't worry, you won't hear more from me. I have to sit with my back against the wall. We will soon be launching the private fundraising portion of our Shared Voices fundraising campaign across the country. But this foundational investment from the governments of Canada and the governments of Prince Edward Island make this possible. They make this possible. In closing, I want to thank the incredible leadership of all the staff at Confederation Centre of the Arts for their generous and inspiring commitment to serving the community through arts, through learning, and for supporting this incredible journey we're on. Thanks to the dedicated volunteers on our National Board of Directors from across Canada for contributing your leadership, your diverse perspectives, and strong governance to the entire team here. And thank you to the many Indigenous leaders and friends who have advised us, who are with us. We had a wonderful meeting at Alnaway yesterday with Janine. We're very grateful for the guidance and help you're providing. And to the thousands of community members, patrons, and culture sector partners, thank you to the many members, donors, and sponsors of the Centre. We couldn't do any of it without your support. We have an outstanding cultural community in this country, and it's a community that needs infrastructure investments like this one. So we feel extremely grateful to be receiving this landmark investment and this support. We look forward to the future sustainability of this important institution. Thank you again. Thanks everyone for being here to celebrate.
Thanks, Steve. Very well said. You know, when they asked me to MC, and I said, well, who's speaking? And they started rhyming off all the politicians. I said, it's going to be very theatrical, possibly, in a building such as this. And I'm not sure who got the starring role, but you all did a wonderful job to express how important this facility is. It's an icon, and it's an iconic investment. It's generational, it's historical. And right now, the world needs these types of investments to tell about the past, to talk about today, and to talk about the future. So congratulations to everybody involved in this. So now I'm going to end this formal part of the program. Thank you for everybody for coming. I think I'm told that we're going to do a quick photo, and then they will be open for questions from the media if that's possible. And if anybody else wants to linger around and chat with some of these guys, then by all means do so. Thank you so much for coming.